Hello and welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three borrachos come in the middle of the week to talk about nerd shit. I'm Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez.
Wap, 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 and Ed Bull.
Wop, 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 and we're back and ready for another episode. It's going to be a chill one because we don't have that much to talk about. We got real lazy this week. I'm going to be real with you, okay? I'm going to be real transparent, but we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a fun time. We're also going to say happy birthday to Miguel. Hello, happy birthday, Miguel.
Hey.
Please tweet at him at
Thank
Miguel
you.
Sanchez. Is that your Twitter? That's not your Twitter account.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Miguel M. Sanchez with two Z's.
With two Z's. Don't get it wrong. Yeah, we're just going to keep it light, keep it chill. A lot of stuff came out. We didn't watch them, but we're going to have fun tonight. What are we going to do? We're going to do news of the week. There's no feature discussion this week. We're going to keep it chill. And then we're going to go what we're into, and we're just going to have a fun time. What do you guys think about that?
Riff.
We're going to riff. We're going to riff-raff. We're going to slip and dip. We're going to cook and...
Look and cook.
Look and cook.
Look
There
and
we
cook.
go. Hashtag look and cook, everybody. First thing to look and cook is Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has been announced. December 2024. Surprisingly, I didn't put this news on the doc. I feel like I'm usually the Sonic head here. But yeah, I mean...
Ed, this had to have been you.
I put it on there because of lack of anything happening this last week. And, people like those Sonic movies. I haven't seen
true.
a single one.
We watched some when we were in Texas a few weeks back. We watched them at my in-laws' house, and the boy was like, he had seen a poster of it at the mall, and he was like, "Who's that blue guy?" And I was like, "Bro, that's Sonic. You want to watch this shit?" Because he's so into Mario.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're into video game movies? Like, fuck it, let's go." So we went back and we watched it on the projector, and he was like into it for about 15 minutes, and then he was like, "All right, I'm done."
Wait, the first one or the second one?
I think we watched the first one, and then later I tried to start the second one.
Okay. Maybe I'll do like a super cut of all the Sonic moments so he's not bored with the human moments. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? That's the danger. Is he really is. He's already showing his like ADHD. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm out. I can't watch this.
He
for
pulls
too
out
long."
his phone, pulls a Miguel's.
Bro, you think it's my fault, but like medically speaking, it's not. Right?
I know. You know what? Hey, if you can hone that in, you can hyper focus on something. You can really use that ADHD tool for really good. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we can make it work.
Oh
I feel
yeah.
We got a superhero.
Give him a week with me, like several 3-hour-long movies plus. I'll break him.
Ed.
I'll break him.
You want me to find down?
I will break you.
Okay.
Speaking of kids, Bluey season 3 out on Disney Plus. Bluey's big in the kid world, isn't it?
Bro,
It is. It's
you
a
guys,
great show.
Yeah.
I love Bluey. Ed, I have to tell you.
Yes.
So I guess you guys are watching it now. There was a time when you guys weren't super into Bluey.
No. Well, yeah, we just weren't aware of it, I guess.
I remember when we first got into it, I was hyping it up a lot. And I feel like if you talk to any parent who has had to watch Bluey because of their kid, they'll all say the same thing. It's so good.
That's what I hear.
We'll totally watch it. We'll totally watch it without our kid kind of deal.
Right.
Like, it is really good. But Ed, I showed you this one episode, and this is a segue into a quick little news story. I showed you this episode at my house one time. It was called Sleepy Time. And it's when Bingo, just if you're familiar with it, Bingo is like having a hard time sleeping in her own bed, and she starts dreaming that she's in space, and it's this really cool space storyline or whatever dream. You know what I mean? And it's a very touching, beautiful ending. And I was like, Ed, if you watch this episode, you guys will start watching Bluey. And at the end of it, they play some song, and it's like this really like triumphant music. And you were just like, why did they play this song? Do you remember saying this?
I don't think I was so aggressive about it.
It to me, because I was so offended in my heart. I was like, he hates it. But cut to, I just found out Kristen sent me a story this week that for the longest time, maybe not the longest time, that specific episode, Sleepy Time from Bluey season 2, was ranked like the number 2 TV episode of like all time on IMDb because it's like such a stellar episode apparently. And then the big backlash was because it started knocking down like certain anime shows, it got review bombed. Where it now sits at number 17.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Isn't that dumb?
That is dumb.
I would never,
but
I would never go out of my way to review them. And I'm trying to think of what that song was. But it stood out to me. Oh, it's Jupiter. Yeah, it's very intense.
It's intense, but it's also like this very overwhelmingly positive ending to that episode. You know what I mean? And it's one of my absolute favorites, and I love that show. So I had to put it on there today.
Does she? My question is, does she end up going to sleep by herself?
Yes.
And does that carry on throughout all the rest of the season? Like, does that narrative hold?
No, none of the episodes really like pick up again and like they continue a storyline.
Okay,
although
so she's
I
back with sleeping with her parents then. Okay.
No, I think it is resolved by the end of the episode, but it's just you don't think about it. But we just watched season 3 episode 1 tonight because it just released today, August 10th, my birthday. And there is definitely like throughout the episode there are like hints and clues and whatever to like other episodes. Like there's this one episode where Bingo or Bluey like throws like, you remember those like sticky rubber toys you'd get at like the arcade or something,
like
and
little
you might,
hands
like flap. You like flap on, it's like a gecko made of that material, and the episode starts with them throwing it on the roof.
It's sad,
but they're trying to like get the mom is trying to get them out of the house, and so they smack it up on the ceiling, and then they have to get their shoes on and dress and everything all in the time before it falls, and that's like the whole episode. And in this one, you see the gecko fall off the roof like they had been playing it before the episode started. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm rambling. All that to say, season 3 is out. If you're a parent, if you're nerds and you have a kid, Bluey's the way to go. All right, you guys are gonna love.
If you have trouble sleeping,
Bluey's the way to go. I mean, dude, they're 5 to 8 minute long episodes. You know what I mean?
They're super sweet, to the point,
and the animation is wonderful. Like every facet of the show, from the voice acting to the animation to the storylines to the music, top notch.
It's very sincere, very realistic. And like
that's what I hear.
The parents aren't perfect parents, and not to get like too deep with these, but like it's just like they're tired at the end of the day, or like they're tired having to get up and go tend to their kids in the middle of the night, and like you end up crashing on your kid's bed because you're so tired, and you just hope that you fall asleep. And I mean, it's very like down to earth. It's a treat. It's really good.
Every time I meet new parents, I always say, "So, Bluey's pretty good, right? Bluey?" And they're like, "Yeah, Bluey is good." It's
really good.
We're friends
Louis,
now.
so have you guys watched any Louis?
I've only like seen a little bit, but I haven't really committed in a full episode yet. You know, because I just talked to parents who
they're 5 minutes long, baby.
I know. I watched an I Am Groot episode, but I'm not watching a Bluey episode. You know, I think that the parents I've talked to, they've praised it like immensely. Like people from all walks of life, people who I know have conflicting interests and views are like, no, but we like Bluey. I'm like, wow, you too.
Let me ask you this: if I put together like a 5 episode list, 5 episodes, will you watch all of them?
Yeah,
okay.
You're talking about like 25 minutes right there. 30 times.
Perfect. I don't
know if you can keep
25 minutes. Fuck that. No, but you say to sleep too. You know, we could watch it, then drift away.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. You know.
No,
what I mean?
listen. If I give you a list of episodes, you better stay the fuck awake. Okay.
I'm gonna put it on my big projector. I'm gonna make some coffee. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna focus on the story.
You'll love it. I think Sarah will love it too.
I think she will. I mean, hey, you know what? We do like animation, you know, so we enjoy that stuff. It really lifts you up. It changes the energy. We dig it. You know what I mean? I love being a kid. I want to be a kid again. Put on Bluey season 3 on Disney Plus. I can't believe it's on Disney Plus though. That's pretty cool.
Well, I can. I love it.
I mean,
wait, is Bluey a Disney show or is it like wasn't it a foreign show?
It runs on. It is. So it's from Australia, but it runs on Disney Junior.
Oh, Disney Junior. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Welcome to Bluey. It's an Australian animated television series. All right, cool. Yeah, throw me those episodes. We'll throw them up on the Instagram. You know, rate your favorite Bluey episode.
Yo, top five Bluey episodes. That's the question. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
What are your favorite Bluey episodes? All right, let us know.
I already know 2 of Miguel's. Obviously, that one we were just talking about, and then maybe
the Sleepy Time.
The Sleepy Time, and then the one with the friend who they meet on their camping trip who's foreign.
I love that episode.
I can't remember the name of it.
Absolutely. It's called Camping.
Camping. Oh my god. It's just so like... it hits you in a surprising way. It's just like
don't say anything.
Yeah,
Don't say
okay,
anything.
I'll
Don't say-
shut up.
Louis,
I'll shut
that
up.
No
was-
spoilers. No spoilers.
That one's
Okay.
definitely
That would be on the
Don't-
list, right?
No Bluey spoilers. Hell
No
yeah,
Bluey
dude.
spoilers. Is there a
That's
Bluey
number-
Reddit?
There
There
has to be.
Dude, I'm looking it up right now. Anytime I'm into a show, I'm like, what's the Reddit? Like when I got into the bear, I was like, what's the Reddit for the bear?
I have to step away from specific subreddits like that if I'm into the show, because it's like I don't have time for them to forget the spoiler tag for something. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I usually jump in after I've watched the show. Like I was
okay,
watching,
that's different.
That's when I jump in. The only there's only one subreddit I found to be very toxic, and it was for a reality show.
What was it?
So
Luis is about to drop a bomb.
Go
or
on.
something, yeah.
there is a show that me and Sarah watched that is our guilty pleasure.
Yes.
We secretly
We all
are
have them.
into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes. Yes.
I was working from home and I just kept hearing all this drama, and it's LA based, so I know all the spots, and then I keep turning my head backwards like this, like what's going on? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
she was like, "Do you want to?"
We started from season 1,
Yeah,
and
you
now we're
did.
at season like 14. You know what I mean? We see them
Yes.
all, and now every week we're like, "Hey, Wednesday, it's out." You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's a very toxic subreddit, and I do not recommend it.
It sounds like a toxic show too.
Yeah, but you know what? I bet it's fucking delicious.
It is delicious, and it is
trashy ass reality
Okay,
shows.
here's a Bluey subreddit, season 3A on Disney Plus discussion.
Season 3A. That's the other thing, is there's only 25 episodes out now, but they usually run like 50 episodes because they're 5 minutes episodes or whatever. So I was looking at that going, this must only be half the season because they usually do way more.
You saw the first couple episodes of Bluey, right?
Yeah.
It says the first comment I'm reading, and then I'm done with this. By the way, sherbet is not ice cream. It's like a pixie stick. Does that make does that mean it?
Interesting.
That means
I can relate.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's like a pixie stick that you would dip. I don't know. Like in England, there was this like candy where you have this like taffy lollipop that you would dip into sherbet.
We call that fun dip.
Of course you do.
It is fun dip.
That's
Crack
fun
dip.
dip, right? That's what he's talking about.
It's
Fun dip.
fun. I mean, I don't remember what we called it.
What do you
over
call
there.
it? Nerds rope? No, no, we're gonna go on a tangent. No, it's okay.
Looks like there's some stuff going on here. Season 3 changes, deleted scenes, like some know.
Bro, shh, I haven't watched yet. Shh.
Okay, we won't say anything. Yeah, check out Bluey. Check out our Instagram when we start blowing it up on these 8-minute episodes. Some more short content you can watch, or trailers. And boy, we got a lot of them we're going to go over today. Today. The Banshees of Inisherin. Is that how you pronounce it?
It doesn't matter. They could say that word the entire trailer, and I wouldn't have any fucking clue
the
what they
Banshees
said.
of Inisherin. Is that wrong?
Inisherin.
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 Inisherin. Inisherin.
Hey, the fucking in Bruges. In Bruges, the Banshees of Inisherin. There you go. So I didn't realize. I was like, oh, this is reminding me of In Bruges. This trailer.
Well, it's the same director and
Writer.
cast.
Exactly,
Cast.
same director, same
And writer.
cast. That's what I started digging into it.
That's a sharp mind you got there, Luis.
That's why they put me on the
well on point.
podcast. You want to
Is there-
read this? Oh,
Is
go
there a
for it.
subreddit for this?
Let me look. The Banshees.
Yeah, 2 comments. All right, I'll read it real quick.
Okay.
All right, set on a remote island off the west coast of Ireland, the Banshees of Inisherin follows lifelong friends Patrick and Colm, who find themselves at an impasse when Colm unexpectedly puts an end to their friendship. A stunned Patrick, aided by his sister Siobhan, and troubled young Islander Dominic, endeavors to repair the relationship, refusing to take no for an answer. But Patrick's repeated efforts only strengthen his former friend's resolve, and when Colm delivers a desperate ultimatum, events swiftly escalate with shocking consequences.
Miguel, did you see the trailer?
I did. I had the hardest time understanding what was going on. I watched it with Kristen, and we both like looked at each other at the end, and we'd be like, "I didn't understand a single word they just said." I will say I did kind of understand the gist that there was like a friendship breaking apart, and Colin Farrell seemed to be trying to make amends, and Domhnall Gleeson was like, no. But other than that, I was
That's Brendan Gleeson.
I'm sorry, Domhnall's the son.
Yes, Dommel.
No, Domhnall is how I'll pronounce it on my fucking birthday. Okay. No, I wanted you to try your best Irish accent when you were reading the synopsis there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me beforehand, you know?
We'll do it again.
I just wanted to vibe. Yeah, we'll edit it in. Go ahead.
No, I'm all right.
I'd at least say something.
You need one of those like starting phrases like potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Faith in Bagora. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I just realized, is Brendan Gleeson the father of the other dude?
Yeah.
Dommel.
Yeah.
Dude. What?
They're both Irish.
I didn't know that.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
I want to see it because I really enjoyed In Bruges. I like Martin McDonagh. I've read a couple of his plays. They're really good. I didn't see Seven Psychopaths, but
that one was kind of lost on me. 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. I like that less every time I saw it.
But you like it in theory, you know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, it's a hateful film, and the cast is really. It is. I mean, it's like there's nothing to feel good about it. All of the characters are kind of shitty.
That's what's kind of cool about McDonagh is he writes these like really dark and like loathsome characters.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's like an appeal to that. But because it's Brendan Gleeson, and Colin Farrell getting back together again, and In Bruges was so good, one of my favorites.
I'm excited.
Like, okay, I would see this one.
Going back to your roots kind of thing. And you got Barry Keoghan showing up, and Kerry Condon, who is, Miguel, I don't know if you recognize her, but she's in Better Call Saul.
No.
But,
sorry.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. I thought the trailer was really fun. Like, I was obsessed with this trailer. I thought it was so funny.
I'll try to watch it again.
And it's got a lot of, it looks like it could get fucked up. I don't know.
It's one of those movies that seems like it's going to be a fun, like, back and forth dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which Martin McDonagh is great at the very least. I mean, and Colin Farrell is just kind of like at the peak of his career right now. He's like turning in so many interesting films.
I gotta say, and then maybe it's because I'm like, you know what I mean, going through my own turmoil about aging or whatever. I'm really hyper fixated on people getting older, and they
says
both
the 32-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, well, you know what? Gen Z would tell you that I'm fucking halfway, like a foot in the grave. You know what I mean? Like they think 30 is like the cutoff. They think you die as soon as you fall off at 30. Yeah. But anyway, they're looking a little old. Even Colin Farrell, who, oh my god, my lights are flickering in here. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, no. I feel like you're losing your mind.
Did Brendan Gleeson just die or something? You know what I mean? Like, did like someone just become an angel?
Hey, knock on wood. Knock on wood.
No, I'll tell you guys why later. But no, it's just I've been thinking about it lately, and so I've been noticing, all these people. Yeah. Everyone's aging. Time marches on.
Yeah, Brendan Gleeson is an older gentleman. Colin Farrell does age by the year.
Every year. That's blew my mind.
Yeah. No, I mean, they already have great chemistry that was established in Bruges. So, it's cool to see them get back together. Anyway.
Well, there you go.
Oscar hopeful. I feel like that's what all of these trailers are this week, apart from one. But
which one, Ed?
Well, Mo, but only because that's a TV show.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. That's all I meant.
I was like, you piece of shit.
Apart from this garbage over here that's not worthy. Not worthy! You're unworthy! Anyway. Banshees of Inisherin.
If you're wondering, the Banshees of Inisherin doesn't have a Reddit account. So
Yet.
So if you want to start that, go ahead and start that.
No, Luis. You.
Why?
You.
No, I'm not doing that. Triangle of Sadness. It's another movie that we're looking for. It comes in October 7th. It's the winner of the Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Palme d'Or.
Wait, before we go on, I want to know one more thing about
before
this
you
movie.
insult another nation after Ireland, you go on to piss off the French. No bueno,
All right,
sir.
I have a question for all of you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think the runtime is for the Banshees of?
I wanted to ask. I don't know. I have 2.5 hours.
I think
Ed?
less. No, I think all of his movies have clocked in at 2 or under.
If you tell me 90 minutes,
I'm there.
I'm
90,
right there.
90 minutes of Ireland.
90 minutes.
90
It's
minutes
going
of...
to be an hour and 49 minutes.
An hour 49?
Yeah, that's how long
I'll take it. I'll take it.
49, you say? All right.
49.
All right.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet. I mean, he's always...
Here's the issue, though. I can't see it in theaters unless I go to like a specific one that has like closed captions. You know what I mean?
Unless I win the box office thing and I make you go see it in theaters.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Colorado, so like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna fly up here and make me go see it?
No, but I'll shame you for the remainder of this podcast.
Life.
Anyway, Triangle of Sadness, winner of the Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Why don't you hit us up with what that's about, Ed?
Okay, so should I do this in like a French accent or in Ruben Östlund's wickedly funny Palme d'Or winner, social hierarchy is turned upside down, revealing the tawdry relationship between power and beauty. Celebrity model couple Carl and Yaya are invited on a luxury cruise for the uber rich, helmed by an unhinged boat captain. What first appeared Instagrammable ends up catastrophically, leaving the survivors stranded on a desert island and fighting for survival.
My God.
A lot of social commentary going on there. I don't know much about this other than obviously what it did at Cannes, but they just released the trailer obviously 2 days ago. I don't know if you guys saw the poster for this one. We should pull it up. But the poster is hilarious. And it's basically this middle-aged woman who I assume is a major cast member. I didn't look up.
She was the one that was like ordering people around.
Yeah,
throughout the
and
whole thing.
She's like vomiting up gold, basically.
Yeah.
It's a very striking image. Miguel, you should look it up. But
I love striking images.
it's but anyway, it looks weird. Woody Harrelson is the unhinged captain. That's probably the only cast member that people are going to recognize. But hey, I mean, it comes out 2 days after my birthday, so I'm going to
We gotta go see it.
Yeah, I'll probably see it. And I mean, I thought the trailer looked like. I mean,
It looked good. It felt
looks
like
insane.
I'm going to have a good cathartic experience watching this trailer. I'm like, yeah.
Either that or it's going to be one of
you.
those movies that's just like so obscure that you just walk away thinking, what? I don't know. But
Did you ever see the movie The Square?
no, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it too, but it's the same director who directed The Square.
Okay.
It's got she's from Mad Men and
The
Elizabeth
Moss. Why did I say Olsen?
No.
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was in The Square.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how long do you think this movie is?
Son of a bitch. They probably have it because it's already out. So it's not already out, but it released in Cannes.
Yeah.
So stand by.
I have it. No. You can't look. This is a guessing game.
An hour 45. Hour 45.
I have the answer right here.
209.
229.
Oh, Price is Right rules. You win, Ed.
Thank you.
Also, you just in regular rules. You just win. I think.
hate Price is Right rules. I hate that. If you go over,
I'll do $1. I'll do $1 more.
if you go over
I
by
never-
one, to me, you still win because you're super close. Okay.
More so than
Yeah.
anyone else.
I don't know.
So Price is Right rules, you can't go over, but you can be under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never understood what that expression means because I don't watch Price is Right. So there you go.
You
I
were
always
never
assume,
sick.
like
You
ballpark.
You never stayed home from school?
You never went to the dentist in the middle of the day, waiting in the doctor's room, and you just see it right there.
What did you do? What did you do on days you were homesick from school?
In England?
No, you fuck. You know, I went to school with you. I went to school with you in America. Okay.
Yeah, sure. But like, no, I would not watch The Price is Right. I would pop in a VHS or a DVD. The fuck are you talking about? Why would I do that?
I'm talking about a universally shared experience, Ed. What the fuck are you talking about?
I can tell you now, I have never watched any episode or segment of The Price is Right.
All right, Miguel.
You know what I'm making Kristen?
Give him the top 5 episodes of The Price is Right, and I'm sure that'll get him to watch it.
No, I'll tell you the top 5 games. Fucking Plunko. Fucking
the one where you reveal it. There's.
And you got to guess the price of an object, and you get to keep it.
You got to make sure it's right.
Ed, just YouTube it, man. Like, I'm sure you can get at least like one whole episode for free. The fact that you won't. I'm making Kristen watch Wheel of Fortune right now.
You need to stop making people do shit.
I don't give a fuck. No, talking about feeling my age. They put Wheel of Fortune on Netflix. And so now before we go to bed, I make Kristen watch an episode with me. And sometimes she's into it. Sometimes she'll like guess along as we're watching. And other times she's like, I cannot watch another episode of this. And she's not wrong. It's trash television.
Sarah and I told you guys, Sarah and I were getting into Murder, She Wrote for a minute there.
Right.
That were like, talk about the best way to fall asleep. Like, we would be guessing, like,
sorry, Angela,
who committed the murder. It was always like some like fucking like curveball person who did it, who they don't even touch on. So like, we'd fall asleep to it, ask each other the next morning, like, who murdered, who did the murder, and we were just, I don't know, that one guy.
Ed, there's a podcast that Kristen and I listen to when we're on road trips or we're traveling more than 45 minutes in the car. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to ask her. I'll text it to you. But it's like a radio play. You know what I mean? They're all acting the entire time. And it's like a whodunit. Someone gets murdered or someone gets, you know what I mean, injured, and you have to guess who it is. And they drop little clues and hints throughout the entire episode. And at the end they go, now who do you think did it? And then they cut to break and they come back and tell you. You guys would love that shit.
Okay.
What's it called?
I don't know. I was about to shout for Kristen, but I don't know if my boy's asleep. It's something dumb.
Who done it?
The problem is the voice acting is atrocious. Like every person, not one of them is good.
Miguel, you were selling this with each line that you uttered.
But that's the fun of it. It's like one of those it's so bad it's good kind of deals.
Oh,
and then they'll be like, these are based off of real life events. Like one of them was like the college admission scandal. But then a girl gets murdered instead. You know what I mean? At the end. You know what I mean?
Oh, they did a little twist.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, ooh, I don't know who did it. It was the best friend. The best friend did it.
It's always the best friend.
But no, you guys would love that shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on a lot of tangents and rants tonight. And normally I would feel very guilty about that.
But it's
today
your birthday.
Is my birthday.
It's
Cheers.
your birthday. Cheers.
Oh, wait. I'll do one too. I got more.
I'll hang on.
Oh, it hurts the ears.
You got to give a warning about that, Ed.
Oh.
Someone's listening with headphones, and not just us.
Well, we can cut that out, I guess. Just like cover it with like a.
We will not be
fake
cutting
fart
that out.
noise.
We will be highing the volume on that. Listen, I don't know anything about this show, but Miguel seems pretty hyped about it.
I was excited.
Tell
'Cause
me,
it's
Mo,
Yeah, you go
about
ahead.
Mo.
So I don't have it in front of me. I wrote the notes down, but I don't have it in front of me. So if I say something wrong, please correct me, okay? But it is a character named Mo. This was an actor who was on a show called Rami. It was like a Hulu show, I think, that followed. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Is that follow the person named Rami? Rami following
Yes.
Rami?
Yeah. And he was like a side character, but this actor got his own show. I initially thought it was a movie because it's produced by A24, but it's on Netflix, and it's a Palestinian refugee who, like, I guess grew up in Houston, And it's set in Houston, Texas, and there's a lot of really great shots of the city. There's a lot of local Houston rappers in it. Like one of the guys I noticed, Tobe Nwigwe. I'm going to say it if I'm fucking wrong because I don't have it in front of me. But he was the first one I saw. I was like, oh, I've been following that guy lately. He's blowing up. He's like one of like the hot Houston rappers right now.
Yeah.
But then they've got like Paul Wall and
of course.
Probably Slim Thug. I don't have the notes in front of me. I wrote it. Bun B is one of them. You know what I mean?
Damn,
help me out at all. I know Ed has these notes printed out, so please feel free to.
No, I think you hit
me.
it. It looks like undocumented Palestinian refugee struggling to balance conflicting cultures, toggle between his family life, relationship with his girlfriend, and make ends meet in Houston. I feel like you added more about this thing. I loved this
trailer. It was genuinely funny. Like it didn't feel like they were doing bits or jokes or like really contrived humor. You know what I mean? I felt like it was a very realistic and organic humor about this family and about his lifestyle and his struggles. Yeah, being like not American and not Palestinian and what that means to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone posted it on their Instagram story this morning, and I watched it, and I was just blown away that number one, that it was Houston, because you never get anything set in Houston. And the fact that it was so heavily featured, but at the same time, not like hitting you over the head with it either. Like you were just there. You know what I mean? But no, I'm looking forward to it. It's on Netflix. It's an A24 product. It's like, who doesn't love A24?
I couldn't believe that. You're right. That tripped me up when I saw A24. I was like, "Oh, this is a movie," and then
that's what I thought
turned out
too.
to be a TV show. And I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I didn't know they really did that."
Yeah, that was cool. And I feel like.
Did you guys watch it?
Yeah. Not as like I have an opinion of the show, but as I was watching it, I was like, "This feels like it would be a great show." And then, sure enough, it's like, "Oh, Netflix, whatever series." So I'm here for it.
Ed, a couple of days ago, I texted you and I was like, isn't this, I sent you this guy's story on Instagram and I said, isn't this the bike trail by like Buffalo Bayou or whatever? And you were like, oh yeah, that's that guy. Yeah, that's that rapper that's blowing up right now.
Okay, all right.
You posted on your story too, didn't you? Like
I may have. Oh, I have shared him before. I'll share it again. I'll do it on ours too. Because he's got several videos out right now, but one of them is with like Chameleonaire, who's another Houston rapper, you know what I mean, who hasn't rapped in fucking forever. And he's super dope. I hate that I can't pronounce his name correctly. I'm so white and I apologize. But no, he's hot. He's blowing up and he's in this show and it's like, okay, cool. And it didn't seem like he was just there for an episode. It seemed like he was like actually like having dialogue with the character. They're in multiple locations. It's like, okay, cool. Represent Houston.
Yeah, that's great. There's no we're from Houston. Well, I'm not from Houston, but I was there for a long time. I went to college there. Ed, you're not from Houston either, but it became our home.
It's in our blood.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always proud about it when I say it. I'm like, oh yeah.
Just Houston though, you know.
Well, I'm from Dallas too, but I don't really talk about Dallas too much. Everybody in Houston hates Dallas. Everyone.
Well, no.
Dallas.
I was really
Houston. Everyone's fine.
I was really just
right?
like general. Well, Dallas is a little boring. But
you guys, I had a TaskRabbit guy come help me move furniture when we first moved into this apartment, and he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking about moving to Texas with my family." It was like a reverse situation, and I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm from Houston. It's really great, this and that." And he was like, "I've only ever been to Dallas, and I love Dallas." And I was like, Houstonians, like we talk a lot of shit about Dallas, like people don't like Dallas." And he turned around and went, "But Houston has a higher crime rate." And I was like, "Okay,
I mean, that's true."
That's like, you're not wrong. You're not.
There
wrong.
were shootings outside of Sarah's work like every week. Yeah.
But it pained me that he pivoted with that and he had it like ready to go. I was like,
okay.
You know what? Where are you from? Because I'll talk shit
the problem
right now.
is both camps are readying arguments against each other.
So true.
He's in Dallas and he's learning all the what's it called, talking points against Houston. Houston has all the talking points against Dallas. Every time when I went to college there, I was like, "Hey, I'm from Dallas." Ugh, Dallas.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, thank you. Okay, I guess welcome to Houston. I'm trying to learn, trying to like the city a little bit more.
We'll welcome literally anyone but someone from Dallas.
Okay? Ridiculous.
What do you call those? Dallasians?
I hate having to come up with whatever word for whatever city or state.
Oh, okay.
I
sorry.
love
It's not
that
good.
though.
It's not good. It's not good.
Delassians.
It's Dallacites.
Dallacites.
Dallacites?
Dallacites.
That sounds like a
I'm pretty sure
sexual
that's what it is.
infection.
Ooh, Dallas.
Ooh,
Hey,
I
hey,
see you have a. I see you have a.
Come here, little Dallas.
Hey, Doc. It's been burning a lot lately. Oh, let's.
That's Dallasite.
What do you got?
You got
Oh, that's
Dallasitis.
That's a clear
Dallacites.
case of Dallacitis I've ever seen.
You're gonna die.
I love these chill episodes. We'll talk about whatever. Yeah.
All that to say, it's not too bad. Great. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 2 more here. The menu. We've talked about the menu before.
Yep.
But it's an updated trailer. You know.
Oh, it's not updated. We got a teaser
What do you mean it's
trailer,
not
and now we got an official trailer.
Oh, okay.
What's the problem? I don't get it.
All right, hit me up. Tell me what's going on in the menu.
All right,
What's
so
in the
this
menu for the
looks
menu?
like the psychological thriller. But yeah, we did talk about a few months ago, featuring Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult, John Leguizamo, Arturo Castro, Judith Light, and Janet McTeer. Directed by
I love Judith Light.
directed by Mark Malod. And it features focuses on a young couple who visits an exclusive destination restaurant on a remote island where the acclaimed chef has prepared a lavish tasting menu, along with some shocking surprises.
It's got to be they eat people, right? That's what it is. They're eating people. Like
100%. There's no.
I
other
don't think
thing.
they're going to eat people. I think part of the experience is going to be like torture.
okay. Wait,
And then eating people. There's something about going to like a remote island that is just like, no, can't do it.
You went to Where
Where did I go?
Go ahead, Luis.
this guy directed Succession, right?
He did some Succession. He did some Game of Thrones. We talked about this at the last time we mentioned
Oh,
it.
yeah, we did.
He did, he did some like solid Game of Thrones episodes. He's done some solid Succession episodes.
All right.
Anyway, this new trailer just gives like a bigger look at what all is going on. I guess it's still very still very much a mystery, but I like. I'm here for it. I think it looks fun. And crazy.
Is it in theaters or streaming?
Theaters.
Releases November 18th.
You notice that a lot of trailers are just coming up with these in theaters only
Yeah.
hits on the back of their trailer. So, and it's premiering at the Toronto Film Festival. I'm excited.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I mean,
How long do you think the movie is?
I
That's a tight 90 right there.
would go 2 hours on the dot.
In Between Boys, hour 46.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that okay with you two?
I'm not. You pin me
Yeah,
as someone who does not like long movies.
Luis, I will put together a montage of clips where you guys have been bitching about the
hold on,
length
you
of
keep
any
grouping
movie.
me with you guys, okay?
Yeah,
me and Miguel are
because
two
it's
different
usually-
people.
It's usually you two versus I on
I'm
this
fine
subject.
with long movies sometimes. I say sometimes I'm
Sometimes.
fine with long movies, not all the time. Miguel is against it.
I wouldn't have known it. I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah.
I bring it in sometimes. You guys came to this house and you're like, oh, don't like long movies, huh?
Yeah,
I
that's
find
right.
that offensive. Okay, I like long movies.
Okay,
All right.
I
so
don't.
stand up for length. Length matters. I don't want to hear any more complaining about a 3-hour-long Batman film. I don't want to hear any more complaining about a 3.5-hour Martin Scorsese film. We are lucky to still get movies
Never.
from that gentleman. He is in his 80s now. We're not going to get him for much longer. You better enjoy every fucking
Make
frame.
a different movie. Oops. Listen,
Anyway,
I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, Nicholas Hoult. When we started this
you said,
conversation,
yeah.
I was, he was cilantro to me. And now,
But now he's
but now
basil.
he's a little bit of basil because I've been watching The Great, and
Yeah.
he's warmed up to me a little bit. And when I saw him on the trailer, I was like, hey, there's Peter.
I think you need
and
to watch. Did you ever see The Favorite by Yorgos Lanthimos?
No.
He was in that. The one that Olivia Colman got an Oscar for.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Love
Yeah.
Olivia Colman.
Yeah,
But you didn't see that movie, Miguel?
No, I don't like period pieces, like period
Yeah.
dramas. They're not
So
for
when
me.
Ed wins our summer movie wager, he's going to pick He's going to pick Barry Lyndon as the movie for you to watch.
You know what?
Oh,
Pick
man.
it. Go ahead.
I'll wait for them to release it in like theaters as an anniversary edition or whatever.
We'll all fly to Colorado and force you to watch it in theaters.
That's right. It's like, Kristen, you got
drag
first.
drag
We're
me
taking
to the
the
theater.
We're not going to be back for 3.5 hours.
No phones allowed.
No phones allowed.
I don't like
Stanley
those.
Kubrick would hate phones. Yeah, anyway. Nicholas Hoult, good actor.
Yeah, I like him now.
You ever seen
dig
About
him.
a Boy? With
What?
Hugh Grant?
About a
Boy?
About a boy.
About a boy. What are you, Grant?
Yeah, with Hugh Grant and Toni Collette and Nicholas Hoult. He was a boy. He was the
Wait,
boy.
what?
He was the boy.
Holy shit. He's the boy?
Yeah, in 2002. He's the annoying little boy in that movie.
I don't like him in this.
No, I didn't like him in that movie. When I saw that he was like, oh, he's grown up and he's back in film, I was like, fuck. But he's actually a good actor, so about him?
The first time I saw him was he was in that zombie movie, but now I guess he was in this movie about a boy.
Oh yeah. He had a really good episode. I feel like I actually mentioned this. He was in a really good episode of Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard, his podcast.
That's a
I know.
podcast.
That is in the end. They vibed. They had a good
Was he a good dude?
whatever
Yeah.
rapport.
Okay.
He seemed cool. Yeah. It blows my mind that he was almost our Batman.
What?
Yeah, he was one of the names
Yeah.
being thrown around for the Batman.
Not just thrown around, like he and Robert Pattinson, it came down to both of them. They both screen tested for it, and like it was almost
There was
his.
someone else too, I thought.
But then it went to Robert Pattinson.
I thought it was like a
I don't think so.
throuple.
It was them two for sure, because that was the name that
Yeah.
got thrown around a lot. And now when I watch it, you know what I mean. I like Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think he was a great choice. But I do kind of think like, oh, I could see how Nicholas Hoult would fit into this world. But then I also think about how they really wanted Jonah Hill to play the Penguin, and how I really love Colin Farrell's interpretation, but I would have loved Jonah Hill's as well.
That show isn't happening anymore, right?
I don't think so. Way to go, Zaslav.
David Zaslav.
The Penguin show?
I'm kind of happy that. Yeah, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah,
that
keep it
it's not happening.
cinematic.
You know, I don't
Gotham
love
and the Gotham show and the Penguin show is just a little too much. Like,
I don't love spinoffs. You know what I mean? I like the product.
Yeah.
Like let me stay in
Stop
that world.
acting like you have
Spin-offs.
all of this content ready to go. You don't.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, and maybe it would have been good. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here trying to prejudge. I just don't really
That's
want to waste
exactly
my time
what
on
we're
it. Which
doing here.
I mean,
you guys are prejudging movies based on their runtime. Come on.
well, I have to pee,
God
bro.
damn
Okay,
it, Ed.
no UTIs for me, baby.
Yeah, by the way, audience.
All
I
right,
did
now
have
that
a
we've had some
UTI.
time to digest about it, who do you want the villain to be for Batman?
Mr.
2?
Freeze.
Oh,
Really?
we're riffing.
I
We're
would
riffing
love.
and raffing now.
I don't know.
I'm
if
ready
I want
I'm ready
Mr.
for a
Freeze.
new, realistic, or however you want to phrase it. I want to see him.
Mr. Freeze is not a
No,
realistic
I know,
villain.
but I want to
Freeze
see
is
that
gonna be a
take.
tough one.
Yes, it will be tough, but I will be so annoyed if they just stick with another fucking Joker. I'll be. I mean, I'll be glad to see them expand on the Penguin if they did that, but I don't think he will be the central villain.
See,
I would love.
with as much.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, obviously, there are so many untapped Batman villains that we have yet to see. Like Poison Ivy, you can't do that in a realistic setting, but I'd love to see another film version of Poison Ivy. I'd love to.
So you're yes. Yeah.
You guys know that I would love to see a Man-Bat, but that's not likely to happen in this universe. So, I don't know. But yeah, I think Mr. Freeze...
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
they can do things about it to make it believable. I think there's...
he, to me, is one of those characters that it's hard to... But at the same time, Nolan did Bane, and Bane is like a character who normally you would be like, has to be like this exaggerated thing. And it worked. You know, he worked for Nolan's Batman for the most part. whatever, you know what I mean, disagreements. But
And Scarecrow. I mean, Scarecrow's a little bit.
Scarecrow worked the most for Nolan's Batman. We're tangent. But I think like this Batman in this Gotham, I think you could see these big characters, but there's also like a whole list of rogues gallery characters that you almost never see. You know what I mean? Like I played all of the Arkham games, and there's a ton of these like lesser villains that become, you know what I mean, that could work in that world. You know what I mean?
You just don't. My deal is like, aside from the Joker and the Riddler, like how many fucking psychotic serial killers or however you want to portray them.
I think
like,
that's true.
Calendar Man.
I think you could.
The Mad Hatter. I mean, they're all kind of the same in one.
You could do. You could do the Court of Owls.
Everybody has said
that's the one that people want the most.
I mean,
everyone wants that one.
But that's the one that has never seen.
Well, yeah, because it's a newer. It's a newer, isn't it? A newer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It only came out like in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Justice for
I don't know.
Mr.
It's like a whole systematic issue of Gotham.
But like, how many times are we going to jump
Miguel?
from like gritty, realistic superhero
to like kind of out
just
there,
like fucking
wild.
embrace the material.
That's the path they took. They took gritty and realistic again. You know what I mean?
I mean,
have to wait for this Batman to pass so we can go back to the fantastical and have like Clayface and.
But let me say this: of every villain that we just said that couldn't work in this whatever universe, if Matt Reeves was like, "I'm doing it," okay, my dick's rock hard. Let's go.
But who would you want, Miguel? We've been talking about him.
Freeze is a really good one. Freeze is one of my favorite Batman villains. I would absolutely love. A lot of talk on the internet is the fact that Gotham is flooded now and how that could play into a Freeze storyline. Although I think by the next one, they'll probably just kind of push that along and it won't be flooded anymore.
Would you be disappointed, Luis, if they did a Mr. Freeze?
I think... I don't know. I think the problem, what I feel is going to happen is if they do Mr. Freeze, the story is going to be predictable. I think it's a tragic story that was done really well. But if they play all the same beat moments, it's like, I know what's coming. I know where it's, where we're going. Yeah. That's the only problem I have with it.
But they could do it.
They can expand it.
If they did it and did it well, I mean, I don't know. You go into these movies always assuming, like, oh, Batman's going to win.
Yes.
Somebody's going to show up and, we're going to see a Joker or whatever the fuck. But I don't know.
I mean, if it's a story of, like, I have to do whatever it takes to save my wife, and at the end I realize I made a mistake, like, I know the beats already. Like, we can go down that route, but I know where it's going. I don't know. I guess that's how I feel about Mr. Freeze. I love him as a tragic character.
Did you play the Arkham City?
No. Is he different in that one?
There's a really good Freeze. There's a really good Freeze storyline through that.
I think you sent me the video of that.
It's that.
Did you not? Or maybe I don't know. Somebody had like put all of the what do you call it?
Scenes.
The cut scenes. The cutscenes.
To like put it together to, I guess, lay out the whole story. And I mean, it's very endearing. Yeah, it's one we're all familiar with, and we know beat by beat. There are things that you could do to the story, I don't know, to keep it fresh. But, like, again, if they find the right actor and use him well, I don't know. I mean, I know that's, like, a big old, like, what if or whatever. But anyway. So, Court of Owls would be your answer, Luis, I guess? Like, that's the one you want to see a movie rendition of?
I don't know if that's the one I want. I don't know. I think it's hard to choose because we're going back to a dramatic, realistic, gritty Batman, which we've already had with Nolan, and so it's like, what other path are we going to take here? I mean, I guess the Court of Owls. I've never seen them before, so I want to see them. Sure, I'm not excited about it.
They would absolutely work within the established Matt Reeves universe. It'd be a pretty solid choice.
I think they could explore new things outside of what's already happened in the comics. Do you know what I mean? So we could really be taken aback and not sure what's coming next, which is what I always love.
I would love that. I really, and I've said this before, like these are the things These are the things. Yes, Louise. Yes. These are the things that I hate is when it's just like these internet nerds, very respectfully, internet nerds get on the internet and they say like, I love this storyline. I love this storyline. I love this storyline. I love this comic. I love this suit that this character wore. And they have to have every little thing duplicated on screen when it's like, you know what? When someone wrote this comic for the first time, that beloved comic, that storyline that you love so much, it was fresh, it was new, it was something different. And that's what I would love for superhero characters in all of these movies. Like I appreciate, you know what I mean, the source material, but expand the lore, add to it. Don't just like, you know what I mean, churn it out and redo.
I'll tell you one thing I do want to see. I did have to look it up, but you know, if they obviously they touched on Carmine Falcone, I would love to see Sophia Falcone.
Yes.
Like,
well, so yes, I hear what you're saying. Like having that like family member of the
if you're gonna follow the first film and have these intertwining like broad spectrum of villains who are a constant element in the city, like the Falcone crime family isn't just going to go away. You got children to consider. I think that could be fun to have as like a background story. Like if you were going to have like a ongoing plot line, and you're going to see like the rise of the Penguin. Yeah. Maybe he gets like a little pushback from Carmine's family, you know, all the while there's like a central villain, you know.
Right. They could be using the central villain.
Yeah, but that would be cool to have like a strong, foreboding female villain come into play that's not just like Catwoman or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Well, I think we did it. I think we solved Batman 2. Hit us up, Matt Reeves. We know what to do. We'll tell you everything, Bones and All. Speaking of Bones and All is a teaser coming out. A teaser.
I thought you were about to say Olivia Newton-John.
No, it's a teaser. Bones and All. It's like 38 seconds long. It's pretty good. Ed, you want to go ahead talk about that?
I'd really rather talk about your enthusiasm for it, Louise. Please contain yourself. No, anyway, so obviously we're getting into like awards and festival season now, and this one I've had on my radar. It's from Luca Guadagnino, who directed what was that?
Sorry. I'm so sorry about that. That's a mistake. Okay, go.
Okay. I was just like you're playing me off or something. He was the director of Call Me by Your Name and the remake of Suspiria. So he's worked with Timothy Chalamet before, to great acclaim. And anyway, so this movie is interesting because it's kind of like a love story centered around two teen or young lovers who are cannibals. And it's kind of like in a certain era, or I don't know if it's like a near future or whatever, but they're like it's almost like a road trip story, like they're on the run kind of thing, and they're like traveling across America and eating people. I don't know a whole lot. It's not as blunt as that. It's not just like, oh, they go from town to town eating people, but cannibalism.
Because I'm here for
cannibalism comes into play.
If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, me and Miguel looked away, and then when you said cannibal, we both flipped out and looked at the camera.
like what? Say that shit again.
I got Luis's enthusiasm back.
There you go. Just talk about cannibalism.
Well, it's not in the description of the trailer. I don't actually have that in front of me because I printed off my notes before I actually copied this to it. But let me pull it up here and I'll read it.
I think that's all.
And it stars Mark Rylance.
Okay.
Also, bones and all, love blossoms between a young woman on the margins of society and disenfranchised drifter as they embark on a 3,000-mile odyssey through the back roads of America. However, despite their best efforts, all roads lead back to their terrifying past and a final stand that will determine whether their love can survive their differences. I.e., do we eat this guy or not? There you go.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Okay. Another thing that's coming soon, we got confirmation Lady Gaga is going to be Harley Quinn. We talked about that. We knew it was happening, and it's announced.
I'm here for it.
They released like that little teaser. Did you guys watch that? I mean, it's not even a teaser.
Yeah, of them dancing or whatever. Yeah,
I'm in heaven. I mean, well, look, we talked about it. If you want to hear about it, go back to our past podcast, and here's talk about that. Pretty much we're all here for it. So, coming where
you know who's not here for it?
Miguel.
I was trying to anticipate.
Oh man,
I was trying to anticipate Luis's segue.
No, you're just a dick.
That was really good, Miguel. That was really good. Oh, that was good.
All right, I'm
My
sorry.
segues are like that, huh? You know who's not here for it? Groot. I am Groot now out on Disney Plus. I am Groot now out on Disney Plus. 5 episodes, each is 3 minutes, 15 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. You're out of there. All right, cool. Let's talk about the summer box office update. Listen, everything's pretty much standing still as they are. Top Gun is number 1. Actually, I was going to talk about this real quick. If you let me, if you
no,
let me. Ed. Oh shit. News about Top Gun. Top Gun is just breaking records left and right. You've never seen it. We always talk about Top Gun because it's so good. Top Gun is now the number 7 in the top domestic box office. It surpassed Titanic at 600. Top Gun's at 659. What's left is Infinity War at 678 mil. Then Black Panther at 700 mil. Avatar 760 mil. No Way Home 804 mil. Endgame 853 mil. And do you guys want to guess the number 1 domestic box office movie is?
Did you say Avatar already?
Force Awakens.
Yes, The Force Awakens. People were waiting for that movie. It had a huge buildup. Obviously, brought a lot of people with 936 million domestic. Avatar was 760. Miguel set number 4. So yeah, Top Gun's number 7. Kicked out Titanic. I was reading somewhere. It's been like top 5 ever since it came out. Like Top Gun, top 5, Maverick. It's doing pretty good.
It's only just slipped into number 6, I think, this last week or so.
Well, there you go. It just started slipping into 6. But I mean, goddamn.
Check your notes.
Oh, that's what the R means?
Yeah, ranking. So the WEB is weekend box office. I should put an over.
I didn't know what those words mean.
Web.
Ed, when you throw in acronyms, you should put like a little star at the top or whatever that cuts to the bottom that goes.
Wait, why is that one web and the other one not at a web?
Because it's at the top, and you start at the top when you're reading stuff, right? You don't start at the bottom. Work your way up, I hope. Let me look at the dessert first before I get to my entree. So yeah, anyway, my bad. Asterix coming next week.
Okay. Well, we know what it is. You don't have to put asterisks. Now we know what.
No.
Now we know.
I'm going to be a professional
rank
about this.
6, Top Gun Maverick. Okay.
Yep.
And then Jurassic World still these are going to pretty much stay put. Top Gun, 664. Jurassic World Dominion 372. Officially out of the top 10. Minions Rise of Gru 337 mil. Thor Love and Thunder 318 mil. Elvis, man, really coming out 137 mil, which I have been trying to see. It's It's now available. Actually, you can rent it and watch it right now.
For
I was surprised.
$25, I saw
No,
that.
I was so angry when I saw that
Okay.
shit. I said, rent it for how much?
So I'm visiting family in Houston here, and there's like 6 of us, and we're like, oh, $20, that's not bad. So it depends on the crowd you see it with,
That's different.
But
that's
But
different.
for one
just-
person,
Did they start watching that tonight?
no, because they're
you?
waiting to see it with me. We were like, we should watch Elvis.
okay.
I'm like, guys, I have a podcast tonight. Do you keep forgetting?
Well, that's good. That's nice.
I told you guys yesterday and the day before the podcast.
You guys are listening, right?
Oh yeah, no. Elvis at 137. You can rent it and watch it. Lightyear, 118 mil. Nope is at 100 mil. And actually, Nope surpassed Black Phone. Black Phone was 7.
Yeah, sorry, that was an error on my part. Sorry.
All good. Black Phone, 86 mil. Where the Cardats saying 66. Super Pets, 48. Bob's Burgers, 31. Bullet Train coming in, 30 mil.
There you go.
And there you go. We all predicted last week. I kind of fucked this up, but we all predicted how much that movie was going to make. Miguel had 55 mil.
Luigi won.
Ed, you had 39 mil. I had 35 mil. Yes, I won. I predicted it correctly. I knew it wouldn't be that big because Nope didn't even get. Nope was at 44 mil, and I couldn't imagine Bullet Train getting more than Nope.
I thought just because of the
Just star
cast
power.
and the star power and also just like the flashiness of it
Yeah.
all. I thought, like maybe it would kind of draw people in, and like everybody I've spoken to was like, "Oh yeah, I want to see
That's
Bullet
true.
Train."
Miguel, what were you gonna say?
But hey ho, yeah, Miguel, go ahead. You were not excited for this film.
No, super am. Love movies on trains.
He loves the Murder on the Orient Express. It's one of his favorites.
I would watch
He does.
it every day if I could. Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer, now a TV show,
Hey,
or has been
alright.
a TV show.
Now name one more. Name one
Some
more.
scenes in Hunger Games.
Some scenes in Harry Potter.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
hey.
wrote on that
Yeah.
train.
What?
Yeah, bro. Fucking, I've been there.
At Universal.
Yeah,
At Universal,
yeah,
bro.
Universal. We made Forrest watch. I say made. Sorry. We started watching the first half of the first Harry Potter movie with Forrest recently.
That's brave.
And he was kind of into it. I mean, he watched more of it than I expected, and then he went to bed and we finished it. You know what I mean? But
That's
yeah, we're getting him there.
Wait, Bodies came out. Did it not? It didn't make any money, basically.
Hey, you know what? Here's why I thought is because it's an A24 movie
Right.
and Pete Davidson's in it. I was like, it's gonna make money.
I don't like Pete Davidson.
But it's probably going to build up. It's because it's been getting good reviews.
You
right?
remember Spring Breakers? It'll be like that,
Yeah.
where it didn't do well in theaters, but then it'll find like
Yeah.
an
I feel like
audience.
there's like
I mean,
summer
look at
box office like exhaustion happening with the audience. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sure. Marcel with the shoes. Marcel with the shoes at the
Yeah.
shell. That made like 600,000 its opening weekend, but now it's at like 5 mil.
I can't wait to watch that movie. I love it. I love the idea of it. I'm not going to go see it in theaters. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
it looks so good. I cannot wait. It's one of my most anticipated.
okay, this isn't part of the notes that we wrote, but I have a list of movies that I'm still waiting to see.
Okay.
Go on.
So I'm gonna say mine. There are whatever that I'm still waiting to see. I'm still waiting to see Men. I'm still waiting to see Unbearable Weight and Massive Talent. I'm still waiting to see Elvis.
then. Me too. Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see Bullet Train. And I know a lot of people are talking about it. I'm still waiting to see Prey. And finally, I'm
Yes.
waiting to see Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Ed, I feel like you've been on top of everything. Like, is there anything that you are waiting to see?
Well, actually, I mean, you mentioned Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I do. That has been in
Yeah.
like my back pocket for a while. I do really want to watch that. Obviously, I saw Men. I mentioned it on this podcast. Prey is definitely right now. Like Prey, I'm very keen to watch, and I'm obviously been busy, but like I'm just waiting for the moment to throw up my projector and give it a
Dude, totally.
proper dues. And then Miguel, it was on your list. I do want to see Crimes of the Future. I haven't gotten around to that, and I know you can rent it. I don't know how much for right now.
Is that the Hugh Jackman film?
No, Crimes of the Future was with Viggo Mortensen and Leah Seydoux.
Okay. This was the Cronenberg movie.
Yes. And then, well, one of those movies, Beast, like, I'm kind of curious to see where that movie goes and how it does.
God, the Lion VFX looks terrible, doesn't it?
You said it sounds terrible?
The VFX looks...
It looks
VFX
terrible.
Is not good.
Oh, the VFX.
Yeah. He said the lion looks terrible.
Oh.
It was disappointing. I was like, oh, well, this is the main
TBD,
antagonist.
I guess.
You know what?
TBD.
Check it up with Marvel.
Have you seen the shit we've been putting up with Marvel lately?
I know, it's really sad.
You know,
really
you look back on the, like, I mean, think of any movie you bitched about the CGI in, and then you go, oh, maybe I feel bad about saying that now. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
well,
I stand in solidarity.
You know what it is?
Okay?
I'm not complaining to the VFX artist because I know it can be done totally. Yeah. What I'm complaining about is the production company or like the people producing it, because it's their job to make sure it looks good. When you're at that level, you're talented, all right? You can get the job done. It's just when they don't have enough time and they make too many changes and they push up the release date. Like I just saw a news article about the people doing VFX for Endgame. They didn't realize that they bumped the date up, and they were like, dude, what the hell? Like, this is the biggest movie we've ever done, and like, you want us to do faster? It's really like upsetting to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, one of the biggest disappointments out of this whole thing, because they've been talking about this now since before, I guess Comic-Con, right, is when this stuff started coming out. About the visuals, and I'm just like, I'm more disappointed that this big studio just hasn't addressed it in any way. Like, they haven't tried to remedy it. They haven't spoken publicly. They haven't spoken publicly about, like, we hear our artists and we care about everybody involved in these movies that make it such a big success, because it does. These movies would not work without the amount of visual effects that go into them. And when you hear shit like that, it sounds shady. And when they just, I mean, it's been like over a month now.
Multiple articles, follow-up articles of different times. They've been saying, I've had this issue and this issue.
And it just gets worse. Like with this Avengers Endgame thing, which is like the biggest movie of all time, sans Avatar or whatever. But you know what I mean? It's just like, credit where credit is due, and just speak up and talk about, like, address the issue. This is clearly an issue. It's going to be an ongoing issue if they don't address it.
If there was any other issue that was like, quote unquote, anyway, if there's any other issue, they would have addressed it, you know. And here, it's like, you're right.
Absolutely. If it was like a social issue or whatever, the fact that it's gone on so long now and they haven't said anything, like even Kevin Feige, it's just like, address it, like acknowledge it or something. Yeah, like that's the biggest disappointment. I feel like it's just like they haven't even tried to remedy it. Even if, like, you know, you have so many corporations or studios being like, oh, we hope to address this and tackle it in the most honest.
At least that. And, give us at least that. You know what I mean? Even a lie or something. You know, I don't know.
At this stage. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't see them addressing it, because then that means they'd actually have to fix it. You know what I mean? Like with a social issue, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but like with a social issue, they can like hashtag something and get like a trend going on Twitter. But like with addressing this actual thing that happens to each of these movies, then they have to fix their whole flow of work. And it becomes like a real world problem. Not that I'm saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying I feel like I see where the money is. You know what I mean?
There was a long time, obviously, diversity was an issue in the Marvel universe. Like, there wasn't a Latino male actor in it for like a super long time. And, you know, now they're bringing diversity into the fold. They're like, okay, we've realized we need to make some changes. We're adding all these different characters, and they're amplifying those voices. And so But that, I guess that does seem like an easier fix than to like handle the budget concerns and all of these things that would affect, if they made any positive changes for the VFX community.
I think it's because, you know what I mean? When you think about like, you know what I mean? Their whole goal is to make money, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, every movie that's had a crunch where VFX artists have been disrespected has still gone on to make like $1 billion. So why would I fix that? The money's already there. Not that I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like I could see that's why they're not addressing it.
But it's still fucked. Like it's a fucked up situation
100%.
to be like, they're suffering and their lives are miserable and relationships are being broken over because we're working them through hell. But fuck it, we need to get this released.
I mean, some of these like I was about to say testimonies. That's not the word I was looking for. But like some of these, you know what I mean? Like where they come together and they say like, I worked 60, 70 hours a week and I was like breaking down and people next to me were like breaking down. No one should be working in an environment like that. You know what I mean? Like nothing is worth it. You know what I mean for that.
And for so many people, getting to that point would be a fucking dream.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
To
it's
work
just
on a
like,
Marvel movie
yes,
or
I'm finally working on a Marvel movie. Like you get to that stage and you're like, I've made it, kind of thing. Only to find out, like, oh, yeah, actually, this is shit. And it takes hundreds of people. I mean, you guys, we all sit through those fucking end credits, and we see how many people are involved with that.
That's so true. That's so true.
It's not something that could be easily shrugged off. And I mean, money speaks louder than words in that industry. But fuck me, like. Again, like on movies that rely so heavily on it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And like you would expect even the fucking stars of these films to start speaking up. It's...
Well, Tatiana, what's her name? From She-Hulk. She was standing up for VFX artists this last week or so. You know what I mean? Because like you've been hearing the talk about like how the She-Hulk CGI doesn't look good or whatever. And I think she and the directors turned it around and was just like, well, look at the artists that have to make this. You know what I mean? Like it's a crunch.
Yeah.
We stand with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They can do it. It's just a crunch. It's not fair. And maybe if we slow down a bit, it would be good for everybody. But Bodies is out. That's on A24. Beast comes out August 19th. And I think there's that 3,000 Years of Longing that's also coming out soon, right?
That's right.
I cannot wait for the 3,000 Years of Longing. Yes, thank you, Louise.
Super exciting.
For cutting me off there while I was talking. That was one I was going to mention, but obviously that's not going to get me any points. Right. But it looks gorgeous.
Now, I know we're going into what we're into. But before that, I will say, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to watch Grease. It just showed up on
Grease is the word.
On TV, and I was like, man, this movie knew exactly what its tone was and just went for it. And it's such a blast. And it was so sad to hear the news about Olivia Newton-John passing away at 73. I had no idea she had an ongoing battle with cancer.
For 30 years.
For 30 years. I mean, that's insane.
Like on and off. Yeah, that sucks. Obviously.
She was fantastic. She was a great leading lady in that movie. And I'm happy that I got to kind of, enjoy it and experience it and give flowers at the time. I don't know. When was the last time you guys saw Grease?
I probably end up seeing that movie at least once a year. That's like a regular. It's kind of like one of those just classics that you just. I grew up with it a lot, and the soundtrack is incredible. Like banger after banger in that movie, and I mean. No, it's like a regular go-to. It's like a comfort movie at this point. You know what I mean? And What about you, Miguel?
So I haven't seen it because it pairs two things I hate.
Period and musicals.
Period pieces and musicals. I mean, it's really hard to get me on board.
Ed, you need to write these down so that when you win the summer movie wager, you have a long list of options to pick. For
you gonna make me watch
periods.
Okay.
Musicals.
That would be a good movie to watch, though. Like if
What
we
else?
ever got together again, and
plus 2 hours. But yeah, no, I mean, there is a place in this world for musicals.
I missed the boat on it, and then I feel like at this point, it'd be pretty tough for me to find the joy in it.
I
know
think
what I mean?
I think if we crack a couple beers, a couple brewskis, had a couple of us watching it, we'd have a good time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think like a little sing along.
No, see now that'll turn me off.
No. You can't sing along. You just got to be there to enjoy the tone of this new. It knows what it's doing. It leans into it.
I got you.
And we're all having a good time. If you like having a good time, if you like smiling, and you like drinking a couple brewskis, it's gonna be great.
Miguel hates those things.
I think we can make it work.
Smiling, specifically brewskis. I just
a couple Sandos.
We call them Sandys in this house.
Oh, okay, a couple Sandys. Oh wow, Sandra D.
Too soon.
That was very unintentional. I mean, no disrespect.
Needless to say, I think she will be dearly missed. Indeed. And
R.I.P.
Continuing to R.I.P. Here's to her. Typically, what we do.
I'm out of alcohol.
God damn it, Ed.
You could pretend, Ed. It's fucking for the camera. You could.
That's more disrespectful. There's probably essence of whiskey.
There you go.
In this
See,
water,
there's essence. You could have given her that.
I'm giving you my essence.
Anyway. Let's roll right into what we're into. Cool. Miguel, what have you been into?
I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm just going to kind of riff as I'm going. I kind of remember what I wrote down.
Three things.
So the rehearsal, I texted you guys about the rehearsal this week.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm having a kick-ass time watching this. The rehearsal has been trending for quite some time. It's the new Nathan Fielder show. It's on HBO. The kind of meme to it is just the idea that HBO would give Nathan Fielder such a budget to do the things he wants to do. But it is quality content. Every episode has me engaged. The premise is, if you don't know what the rehearsal is, Nathan Fielder is having people tackle social situations, but gives them ample time to rehearse the situation before they do it. The first episode was a guy having to reveal a lie. The second episode is a woman wanting to practice being a mom kind of deal. So he gets these very real world situations and gives them these kind of fantastical bounds and limits to them so that they can perform out the situation before they actually do it. The first episode specifically, I mean, I was floored by the end of it. I understood the concept before I watched it. I know Nathan Fielder. I know the kind of vibe he has. But I mean, just from every little reveal that they have in that first episode specifically, I was just hooked even more so, with the last scene being my favorite, and that was what made me move on to watch the rest of these. Ed, you're watching the show, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay.
I agree.
On. Yes, all right. Thank you.
Good.
I love Nathan Fielder. Like I said, I wasn't aware that you, Miguel, were a fan, and so I almost didn't mention it. It was one of those shows that I was just going to watch in passing because I think, he's kind of just brilliant. It's very
absolutely
it's very meta in what he does, especially in the rehearsal. It's but with an HBO budget, which is just kind of surreal. The lengths he goes, and he's talking to these real life people, and it's just kind of a bizarre observation of how people react in these I don't know, I guess you could say everyday situations, but because of the amount of effort,
it's heightened.
Just rehearsal heightened, he's breaking down every possible outcome or reaction or response to every situation. So for instance, in there's a third episode where he's this one guy is trying to get his grandfather's inheritance from his brother, but his brother has been withholding it because he thinks like his girlfriend is a gold digger or whatever, and so he doesn't want to like hand over all of his money. And he makes like this off-colored comment about like Jews and money.
Yeah.
And so Nathan Fielder comes in, you know, he's just like standing to the side with a laptop. It's like, it's hysterical, but it's just so, it's bizarre. But he like steps in and is like, would he really say that? And like, he's actually got the guy questioning like whether his brother would make an off-colored remark about that, and he was like, yeah, we'd probably say that in like regular He's like, okay, I'm just making sure. And it's like, it's funny just because like you've actually got Nathan Fielder, who's the most awkward person in the world,
standing there watching,
addressing it, standing there, and he's just like, okay, but like then incorporating that in like a real case scenario to the overall process. It's just like, okay, so one of the responses might be like a racial slur or something like that.
And I loved his response to it.
But he'll put people on the put people on the spot and have them reaffirm this ludicrous things that they come up with. And we see that as an audience, but these people, it's just like a very interesting observation.
Yes.
Of these people who get to extremes to just tackle very regular, everyday.
I mean, the guy in the first episode, his big lie, you know, and when you, whatever you think of your own personal big lie, you would have to like reveal. His is just that I didn't get a master's degree. I only got my bachelor's. And you're like, okay, that's not that big a deal. But because he in his own world has like established this big reveal, and like stress on his shoulders, you become so invested into it. And when it comes time for him to actually tell the person, oh, I don't really have a master's, I only have a bachelor, you're kind of on the edge of your seat going like, oh my God, is this going to go well? Like, did it rehearse okay? What did we not know? You know what I mean? And it just becomes this whole commentary on like our social situations and how we as humans deal with things. And I mean, absolutely blown away. Oh, it's still my turn. I'm into a few things. The other thing, what was the other thing I had on my list?
You had The Last of Us Part 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I'm playing video games. Okay, so I just finished, I know I talked about it last week, but I was playing Last of Us Part 2 and then I picked up Last of Us Part 1. I'm playing it on the old PS4 remaster, so it's like a little janky looking, but I'm looking forward to the remaster or whatever. But I also just got the PS Plus subscription, and I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I found out that the actor who plays Miles Morales was also in The Last of Us. Yeah, and he plays a very big, like, pivotal role. In The Last of Us Part 1, you meet two characters, Henry and Sam. They're brothers, kind of living on their own, and they run into Joel and Ellie. And while I was playing the game, I looked at the cast for the TV show that's about to come out, and I was surprised that those characters weren't listed. Just found out today that they have just been cast for the show.
Okay.
So they just revealed it. So they are bringing in that storyline because it is a pivotal moment in the story, those characters. But the little boy, Sam, the actor who plays them, is also the actor who plays Miles Morales in the Spider-Man games.
So potentially the new Miles Morales for the MCU.
Maybe. We'll see.
Breaking news.
But I'm playing these games right now. The Last of Us was just absolutely brilliant. Super love it. You guys are going to love playing this when you guys do get around to it. I am picking up Spider-Man Miles Morales because I'm just trying to test out this PlayStation Plus subscription right now, where you get this game catalog. I've got Stray. Right. I've got Spider-Man. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm going to download Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding next.
Damn.
Like, yeah, dude, I've got like a catalog.
You are set.
I've got like a backlog of games that I've really wanted to play, but I never wanted to like buy, you know what I mean? Because I really want to like just experience them, but I don't want to stress about like having to spend $60, $70 to play them. So I am all here for the subscription.
That's very exciting.
And that's basically what I'm into right now. Also, it's my birthday. I don't know if you guys know.
Well, enough about you. Let's go to Ed. We know that you're into the rehearsal. You've been watching some other stuff, right? Some good, some bad.
So I literally just finished season 4 of Better Call Saul. We talked about last week. Still loving it. It's great. It's very organically just kind of building up to this character and the moments or the big moments in Breaking Bad. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they tie everything in. And then, just as like a little birthday present to Miguel, the first 2 episodes of FBoy Island. And
they do such a great job of acknowledging the absurdity of these types of reality shows, and then they find the comedy in it, which is so much deeper than most of these reality TV shows go. Like, they're all really shallow, surface level drama.
Like, it's very self-aware.
Yeah, and this one knows what it is, which is so refreshing. If you and Sarah like watching Real Housewives, you know what I mean? You could easily throw this show on.
I'm sure we could.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we could.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've watched other shows like that in the past, so I'll throw it on just to get her attention, and then that'll reel her in.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just have like existential things going on when I watch reality shows, and it just makes me feel sad for humankind as a whole.
Not me. I feel great.
It's just I know that makes me sound like a snob, but it's just more of like I don't know, there's like better things that everybody could be doing with their time than watching reality TV. But I'm not judging. I just try to avoid it where I can. But anyway, I'm probably going to end up watching this entire season, much to my enjoyment and detriment. But yeah, it's a laugh. Like if I was going to pick out any like reality shows, this would probably be it. You know what I mean? Like it's that HBO quality.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
HBO quality. HBO.
Fuck out of you.
You can keep paying us, by the way. Or sorry, send us that first check.
You mean Discovery Plus?
Right. Discovery Plus Max. Discovery Max Plus. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I got into. I didn't get to watch much. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's Leo season. Anyway, Luis.
Luis, not a Leo.
Leo East.
But here I am. I've been watching pretty much 2 things. One, I'm just going to say real quick, and I really have nothing to say about it at this point because I want to wait till I finish the show. I've been watching Sandman, and just came out on Netflix.
Initial thoughts.
I'm excited to keep watching the episodes. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm watching it with the family. And every time we watch like 2 or 3 episodes together, and I'm sad we couldn't watch it today. But yeah, no, it's something. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? I've never read the comics, so I don't really know the source material. But as far as what I'm getting, I'm like, yeah, I haven't had a taste of this in a while, and I'm glad to have it. Wait, have you been watching it?
No, I have not.
Oh,
but I'm fully aware. Like one of my podcasts that I listen to, the hosts are massive fans of it. And
of Neil Gaiman,
and they hold it in high regard.
Yeah,
I know there was a they released like an audio series based on the comics or whatever, like a year ago or so.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
And it had like James McAvoy and other big like movie stars and doing the voices. So I was curious. I was aware of it and was curious to see how it would play out with hardcore fans. So obviously you're not one of those, but I was curious.
From what I hear, like people are liking it, they're digging it. You know what I mean? So I don't really. I've liked. I know he does American Gods. I know he does that other Good Omens. He's done a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I'm sorry I can't. I know there's like a lot of Neil Gaiman fans out there, but I'm excited. It's a cool way to kind of get into his world and to know more about him. And I'm going to keep watching it. Hopefully I'll have more to say in the next podcast when I feel more, I don't know.
In tune.
I have more stuff to say. Yeah. But what I finally finished actually was the Light and Magic documentary on Disney Plus. And man, I have loved that whole experience. Every time I watch, this is why I love like behind the scenes or director's commentary, and especially this, because this is the work of light and magic is the cornerstone of like Hollywood. You know, just George Lucas in general, just to make Star Wars has spawned so many things from just to make sure like, hey, I have this vision. I want these effects. They don't exist. So not only do I have to make a movie, but I have to create a whole visual effects company to make it happen.
From scratch.
And he does that. And I love the R&D, the research and development that goes into it. I love the crafting and how they keep troubleshooting their way into creating all these new ventures. They created digital editing because of ILM. They created, you know, Photoshop. They created Pixar. They created obviously, you know, VFX as we know it. And it talks about Jurassic Park and how that kind of changed everything and how people realized, wow, we really are entering into a new phase. And, you know, when you enter the documentary, you're dealing with modelers and people who are crafting and doing stop motion to make it happen. And in the span of 13 years, they are threatened by the VFX artists. And it just happened so quickly. But
only through their progression, though. It's just like what they developed,
right?
From
from what they did, and now they kind of end the series with this whole idea of like this marriage between practical and visual and all that stuff. And you know, but I will say after watching it, it just sparks in me this thing of like, man, I want to make movies too.
Yeah.
You know. Like it's just I feel when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I want to be there. You know, I want to be making movies. I want to be innovating stuff. I want to be taking chances. And George Lucas, you know, the words that he says, it's like persistence. You know, just persist, like, and make what you want to do and keep going. And you know, I felt very inspired by the Light and Magic documentary, and I hope I can hold that enough. Or just keep it enough so that I can, you know, I want to make something. I want to film something or do a short or just get into like making, because I do a lot of internet videos for work, but I want to do a narrative and I just can't wrap my head around what that would be, because I always think of like, well, it's going to cost money or it's going to cost time. And so maybe that idea isn't a good idea because it's too big of an idea. And it's going to take, you know, obviously too much time to do it. But yeah, it just sparked a flame in me to want to make something after watching.
Absolutely,
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it just got me excited.
Yeah, it made me. Yeah, like it made me want to go back and watch all of those movies. Like seeing them develop, like the Tauntaun in Empire Strikes Back, or the Rancor in Return of the Jedi.
I've never seen Poltergeist. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, where they implode the house.
I was just like glued. I was like, wait, what are they gonna do? What?
Basically, just like problem solving. Cool. Like anything that came to these directors' heads, they had to figure out, and it's just like incredible. And they just like had such a bond. It was like a workplace, where everybody was just helping each other figure it out, basically. It was just like really, and it's just like all these like nerdy guys who like to make like clay monsters and film it in their kitchens and stuff. But like it looks incredible compared to like what, you know, I could pull off or whatever. It's just like it's very endearing in that way. Just like how they've stayed. I mean, most of them obviously went off and did their own things over time and created their own companies or whatever. But like a huge chunk of them stayed with, you know, George Lucas or Steven Spielberg and adapted to all of these new technologies because of their hunger to take it to the next level and always better themselves. Like they were talking about how like towards the end of the 80s, they felt like they had exhausted the same methods. And and that's how it led to like they started incorporating computers more, and which led to like the development of Pixar, which they sold off to Pixar, but used that same platform to develop their own visual effects through computers, etc. And I
thought it was so interesting. There were so many people that you kind of respected after watching it. Like, wow, you really made an impact in cinema. Like, one guy that comes to mind is Phil Tippett, who is the guy who did the stop motion for everything, and he kind of was just like a master in doing stop motion. And Jurassic Park was supposed to be his opus, like his like one thing where he was like he was really going to showcase his skills, and it was going to be incredible. But and obviously they went to VFX, but they used him to help model the dinosaurs, and some of the stuff that he did for the stop motion it did influence the VFX motion. And so the way you see the Tyrannosaurus Rex move, the way you see him emote, the way you see the timing, the pacing, all that tension being built, the way he moves, and the Velociraptors, like that is him still. Like, sure, the VFX artist did it, but I think you could see him like live through those moments of just building tension with movement. And that's why when you see these other movies, they kind of lose a little bit of that soul, because I think Phil Tippett wasn't involved, like especially Jurassic Park 3 and like these new ones where they're just kind of like moving, you know what I mean? Like, they look cool and they're moving, but they don't have like, they're not moving with an artistic purpose or an artistic way to emote something the way that he did. And the way they said like Phil Tippett was able to kind of communicate that, like to give an emotion with movement. And I was looking all these people up, and Phil Tippett actually just recently came out with a movie called Mad God. And it's stop motion, it's horror, fantasy, animation, adventure. It's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It came out June 16, 2022. And I thought,
how long is it?
It's
that's my very first question.
It's stop motion, and so it's shorter than usual because it's very hard to do that.
75 minutes.
It's an hour 23. Almost.
Do the math.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about it. But it did catch my attention afterwards, and seeing him kind of like have his influence through everything. I'm like, oh wow, if I can find the time to watch this and to find it, I'm gonna watch it, called Mad God, just because. Yeah, I mean, these people influenced all the movies that we liked. And that's it, man. That's all I've been into, is just falling in love with movies again. Can't wait to. I'm still watching The Great. I've had these other things come up. I'm nearly done with The Great. I think I have a couple of episodes left. But I was watching Harley Quinn as well. I've been watching that in my downtime as well, and that's been really fun.
I did rewatch Birds of Prey too, because I was listening to a podcast about it. I mean, that's of all the DC movies of the Snyderverse, or however you want to describe it. It's a great movie.
Movie. I like it, Miguel. I'm gonna punch the hate out of you for that movie. I need you to turn to our side. This movie gets so much shit on it, and it doesn't deserve it.
It's unwarranted.
It's unwarranted
compared to all the other shit. It's like
it
tells its story well, and it knows its character.
Yes,
what's more,
it does, and it's not just bullshitting. I think it's like people. There's. It's
definitely not fan servicey.
We gotta come together, and I want you to be live critiquing this as we go, and then we can stop it and we can have a conversation and debate. This could be part of our Patreon account. Pay $2 and find out what we think about Birds of Prey, the emancipation of one called Harley Quinn.
The movie that came out 3 years ago. But it's a good, and it's short, Miguel.
I know.
It's so short.
I love it. I've seen it.
It's not a period piece either. That's contemporary.
I mean, it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite. I guess, especially this era DCEU. It's definitely one of my favorite. Ones.
And
I hear
it's
you.
those one-offs that kind of redeem what DC is doing right now. That, along with the Batman. And
what was that?
That wasn't me. My cat is in the room, and she's pawing at the door. Right at my ass. I mean, I'll fucking show you. I don't give a fuck.
Go to youtube.com.
Look, she was hitting that thing because she wants to get out of the room.
Well, she wants to get out of the room. We can let her, because we're nearing the end of this podcast. I think we did it. It was such a good time. I'm so happy that we got to celebrate your birthday through this podcast, Miguel. Another year, another great year. We have a long year ahead of us. until we celebrate it again. Ed will be next. Also want to say, if you didn't see it on our Instagram, it is not only Miguel's birthday, but it's also MCU's Peter Parker's birthday.
That's right.
Did you not see the Instagram story that I put up? God damn it, Ed.
I just thought you were making a reference to Miguel's birthday and being cute about it.
When he goes to Europe in the second movie, he shows his passport.
It was
and
August
it
10th.
says his birthday is August 10th.
It was a
I don't remember the year,
fandom,
though.
put it up on their social, and then I was like, what the fuck? And so I did the whole thing.
So invasive. Peter Parker doesn't need his passport information out there. It's so.
Who's going to steal his identity, Ed? It's a movie.
Take it up with the MCU. I don't know what you want me to say.
It's just a joke, guys.
Take a ticket behind the VFX team.
You know what?
Whatever. We're running out of steam, running out of gas, but we've had a ball. We've had a great time. We're hungry. Watch some Bluey before you go to bed. Let me know.
Or you could scroll down and watch all of these sword fights that I put links to.
Sword fights? Where?
You guys just don't read my notes, do you?
What are you talking about? Where are the notes? I don't see any sword fights in the notes.
Scroll down. Episode 23.
I had no idea there was all these notes. Holy shit. It's because you put it on the next page and you had it lower down. Wow, this is a lot of good notes.
You can't do that.
This is a lot of cool stuff. I want to make a compilation of this, Ed. Maybe we can work together on doing something here, because this is pretty cool.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Well, to find out more till next time, but you got to wait till next week. It's me, Luis Gonzalez. With me, of course, has been
Miguel.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks.
And who are you?
And Ed
there
Bull.
You go.
And Ed Bull.
And until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Later, Gators.
Later, Gators.